Alright, what's going on, guys? Beastars Season 2, Episode 1. Let's get this party started! Now let's start things off by giving a brief synopsis for the anime-only watchers, and then afterwards, I'm going to sort of go over the similarities and the differences between the anime and the manga, because let me tell you guys, this first episode deviates greatly from the first couple of chapters of Season 2 of the manga. Chapters like 49 to 54. But with that said, let's review the episode. So it starts off with Lugoshi and his boys, the other dogs at Cherryton Academy. They're sort of sitting down, reflecting on things, looking up in the stars. I should also mention as well, I only saw the raw version of this episode on Netflix Japan. I did not see the subtitles. So some of the differences, I won't be able to tell you what's happening. So I'll have to just kind of make some speculative guesses. Yeah, they're just kind of looking at some stars, they're looking into space, and just kind of talking things over. I don't know exactly what they're talking about, so that'll be interesting when the subs come out. And then we see Jack inside of Cherryton Academy. It's nighttime, there's no lights on at all, and he's walking through the hallways, and all of a sudden he sees like this mysterious eye lurking in the shadows. And we have no idea what this is. Well, I know what it is. I've read the manga, but the anime watchers don't know what the heck is going on at this point. So there's this mysterious figure lurking in the shadows. And the first thought you got to be thinking about right now is this the person that possibly killed Tem in Season 1? That's right, we're still trying to figure out who killed Tem. And this whole season is going to be predicated on that idea. So we then transition to one of the classrooms. It looks like the dogs are talking about Jack's accounts, trying to speculate what the creature could have been. Lugoshi's a little bit distracted at this point. It looks like he's texting with Haru. And right afterwards, he goes to Haru and they have a little bit of a conversation with each other. Now, I gotta say, first and foremost, this still shot that I took here, absolutely fantastic, guys. The animation is on point once again. I would dare say it looks even sharper, more detailed, more vibrant with the colors. Absolutely fantastic. So happy about that. It'll be interesting to see how the various action sequences go. I thought in Season 1 there were some odd moments here and there where it looked just a little bit janky, but not enough where I would call it bad, obviously. It was still fantastic animation, but I would love to see an improvement in this season. So far so good, but we'll see how things go with the action sequences. Lugoshi's talking to Haru. They're kind of hiding from the public. Haru doesn't want anyone to know that, you know, she's seeing a gray wolf. She knows that rumors spread kind of quick in the school, so they're just trying to keep it on the down low for now. We then go back to Lugoshi and the boys. They're still trying to figure out what's going on at school. Two of the other dogs see the mysterious creature as well, and we see like these eyes lurking in the shadows, almost like 6 eyes. Very demonic, very scary, so no one really knows what's going on at this point. And then the dogs go to the mouse, the little dude that heads up the drama club, and they're trying to tell him about it. It would appear, this didn't happen in the manga, but I'm just kind of guessing at this point. And then after this, Lugoshi's walking outside at Cherryton Academy, and he bumps into Lewis. And Lewis looks like he's kind of got his own agenda at this point, as noted by the fact that he goes straight to the drama club and he hands in a note for his resignation. So he's going to be leaving the drama club, leaving the school, and everyone just kind of looks besides themselves at this point. Everyone's a little bit confused, like, what's going on? Where's Louis going? Why is he dropping out of school? And that's the last we hear of Louis in this episode. So we gotta wait to see if something happens in episode 2 or if Louis is just gonna drop out and that's the last we'll ever see of him. But I have a feeling he'll be back quite soon. So, you know, just keep your eyes open there. We then go over to Lugoshi and Juno. Now, Lugoshi's talking to Juno, and Juno's very dismayed, very heartbroken. She expressed her feelings during the dinosaur festival to Lugoshi, and Lugoshi just kind of ran off, and he's like, you know, see you later. And she was very heartbroken, and now she feels like she's been betrayed by one of her own species, and she doesn't know who she can trust at this point. So it's put her in a bit of a quandary. And there's a lot of flashbacks in this episode from season 1, mixed, throughout the episode here. So there's a lot of flashbacks that sort of get you up to speed if it's been a while since you watched season 1. I mean, if you watched it back in 2019, it's been over a year. So, that's like a little nice refresher for everyone. And then we're going back to the dorm rooms with Lugoshi and his boys. And Lugoshi hears that noise again. Throughout this entire episode, this noise and this eyes lurking in the shadows. Like no one knows what the heck it is. And Lugoshi, it's like piercing his ears so badly that he has to punch the wall. I mean, just absolutely obliterates a hole in this wall. Just like freaking Hulk Hogan. So he just does it. And then we transition over to the laundry department, and then we see like this dark aura, purple and black, and it's on the ground, and Lugoshi's looking at it, petrified, and that's the end of the episode. So very mysterious, cryptic first episode. Not a lot of explanation, just kind of setting the stage, very much like season 1, in which, you have that murder in the first episode, and then you're sort of figuring things out from there, and then they throw in different curveballs with Haru taking off her clothes, and then Bill attacking Lugoshi on the stage during the performance. So it's going to be a lot more of that in season 2. So it's going to be quite the ride, and I'm very excited. I'm so glad that the animation turned out so well. Now, if you're an anime-only watcher, you're going to want to shut this off right now, because now I'm going to provide some spoilers. So for the manga readers, we completely skipped chapter 49. That was the flashback chapter with Lugoshi and Jack when they were kids. Completely gone. I don't know if they're going to recover that at some point in a future episode, if they're going to sort of mix it in somewhere else, or if it's just completely gone. One of the big things I noticed with this first episode is there was a lot of mixing with the chapters. Like, you got a little bit from this chapter, you got a little bit from that chapter, we're skipping this one and we're going to come back to it. So yeah, chapter 49 completely nixed. Chapter 50, we got a little bit of that because that's the chapter in which Louis leaves the drama club. However, the later half of that chapter obviously wasn't in this episode because we would have saw Louis joining the Shishigumi. So that did not happen whatsoever. So I would imagine that's probably going to be saved for either episode 2 or 3. We'll have to see how they sort of stagger that. Obviously, chapter 51 with Louis in the Shishigumi, that's not going to happen for at least another episode or 2. I'm thinking they're probably going to resolve the events with Raccoon in the next episode, and then possibly go back to the Shishigumi in episode 2 or 3. Maybe the back half of 2, or maybe episode 3 will just be dedicated to the Shishigumi. Chapter 52 was the chapter in which Lugoshi and Juno were having their argument with each other, so that was in this episode. Chapter 53, in which they're talking about the future Beastar, was sort of in this episode. They referenced it, but it was literally only in there for like 15-20 seconds. They really didn't go through the whole proceedings. I don't know if there's going to be more about that, or if they're just going to nix that chapter altogether. We'll have to wait and see what happens there. And the ending of chapter 53, in which Lugoshi's looking back at Riz and he's saying, hey, why are you smiling like that? There was no reference or mention of Riz. Again, it was Raw, so there could have been some reference, but there was no indication that Riz was in this episode, so they're probably going to save him for a future episode as well. And then the first half of chapter 54 with Raccoon coming into the laundromat was in this episode as well. But it almost felt like this whole episode was centered around Raccoon. They really just sort of skipped the whole Louis thing and the Riz thing, and they just made it about Raccoon. She's being given 2 episodes, which is quite surprising here, because Raccoon definitely played a pivotal role in the manga, but she was kind of just this side character that was just kind of there for a moment and then kind of gone with a flash. So it's very interesting that they're making her the focal point, but maybe they're sort of throwing the anime watchers for a loop, making us think that Raccoon, this giant snake lurking in the shadows, is actually the killer of Tem. So I like the way that they're portraying it, and it just was a great episode all around. I can't wait to see what happens in episode 2. And yeah, tell me what you guys thought of this episode in the comments, and I'll catch you guys next time.